I think that we are I think the real pandemic is, like, a lack of purpose. I think that's
Yes.
really what we're seeing, especially in the States because, like, there's just chaos happening all of the time. So I'm hoping I truly believe everything gets better as, like, as the trajectory goes on. So just remaining, like, faithful that everything's gonna work out as it should, and hopefully we start to see the light sooner than later.
I said something on Twitter the other day, and you realize that when you tweet, because Twitter's going to twatter, that uh, it can be misconstrued a million ways.
Right.
And I was saying, we need to stop complaining and we need to start adapting. And that's just across the board.
Mhm.
Again, we've become this way. Me too. We've become this way because we've allowed ourselves to be so attached to things that we need to detach ourselves from.
Mhm.
Again, just sitting quietly. Okay, you're not working right now. This is a great time to read some books, to go online, to find just knowledge, to just absorb something new. You
Mhm.
might just fall down a rabbit hole of something that you're interested in that could become a new career for you or could become a new hobby.
Mhm.
Don't let this time be idle. If
Mhm.
anything, I think before we used to tell ourselves, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough time. Well, now you do.
Mhm.
Reorganize your sock drawer. I don't know. I mean, we have to stay moving too. If we just allow ourselves to not see things with fresh eyes, if we just allow ourselves to, again, sit in our apartment and not, like a rat in a cage, right? Not see outside of
Mhm.
what we do every day. I think that this is really a crucial time to maybe just learn, I don't know, plant some little herbs or
Yeah,
teach
like spot
yourself teach yourself
Yep,
something new.
exactly. Mhm. Yeah, I think so too. It's like you almost like the world, like, needed a reset, right? Like,
Right.
we've become so detached and we've, like, started to lose these connections with each other, with ourselves, so now it's like you are forced to kind of, like, look at that, see where you've maybe, like, fallen short or what you've been neglecting, and, like, realign because I know a lot of people, it's like there's no way that you feel fulfilled working 70 hours a week for somebody else, not seeing your family, not seeing your kids,
Mm.
not spending time with yourself. Um, we we're seeing a lot of people figure out how to work out for themselves, right? Like they're turning like their career into a gig job, and I think that's awesome because now
Yeah.
they can control their hours and they can control what they're getting paid. And even if it's a little bit less, they're genuinely happier. And I think what a lot of
Right.
people are going to realize is like money is not connected to happiness past a certain point, right? So a lot of like hard truths I think we're learning this year, and I hope that like people just like take that opportunity to again like see how is this painful moment actually serving me because I definitely think it is.
Absolutely. And I think that if we learn to, we find joy, like you said, in our purpose.
Mhm.
So for me, I know that we had a solid month and a half of lockdown. And it was funny because I was used to school. We're used to children being in school. That gave me so much gratitude for teachers because I remember looking at some of this homework like, oh, wow. Like the process of having to homeschool and do all of these things,
Mhm.
I remember just thinking, wow, they do so much. They influence, the influence that they have is so much. So it was kind of nice because it forced me to take a step back too. And I started studying again, started reading again. I had really fallen off of that.
Mhm.
Reading was something that I've always loved to read and I just didn't make time for it. So it was just really nice. I got to do some of that. And I think we need to just keep, is it adapting.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that if we didn't go through like this lockdown, I wouldn't have started the podcast, that's for sure. Like I would have been focused on other things.
Did you
Like
want to? Like, did the podcast come to you or
so it's something I, like, always toyed around with, like, for, like, the last couple years, and I just, like, I couldn't find the confidence to just make my first
push the start
episode.
button?
I'm like, "No one wants to listen to me, and people are gonna judge me," and it's a very vulnerable spot because instead of, like, someone judging, like, your body or your looks, it's, like, your mind, right? And if
Yes,
you start sharing personal things and it's, like, your soul to a certain level, and
absolutely.
I wasn't ready, and then I was like, "You know what? Like, I can't keep ignoring, like, something, like, is poking me there, and I'm just gonna do it and see what happens." And so far, it's been awesome, like, I've had people on that I never thought would have agreed to come on, and it's kind of, like, growing into this thing that I'm still trying to figure out how to, like, articulate, but, yeah, I don't know, it's, like, my passion project right now, like, I'm very glad I started it.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you asked me.
Yeah, of course. I think, like, what's cool about you is, like so I try to research everyone before I have them come on, like, just, like, see, like, recent interviews and things like that,
Ooh.
it's like because, again, it's, like, not in person, so I wanna try to feel like I know that person, connect with them without being able to, and I've, like, seen your interviews go from, like, the very, like, standard stupid porn interviews, right, to, like, more recent ones where, like, I see you, right? Like, you're letting
Mhm.
me see you, and I just one of my purposes with this podcast is to, like, show that humanity and, like, show that we're, like, these very, like, diverse and intricate beings, and that so much of the time people judge us for this one decision we've made, and they
Yeah.
don't know anything else about us, so it's really given me the opportunity to, like, just unveil that with people, and I think that's so beautiful.
It's it's something that we have so much power in our words, and having to learn another language and communicate in a language that's not mine was also it was like wow because I felt like the good thing is when I'm in America, it's like you said, people know who we are, or they
Mhm,
think they know who we are, or they think they know something about us. So they already have this preconceived kind of opinion about
mhm,
us. And one of the scary things when I say scary is like when we transition, like you said, in when you're asking guests to come on your show, you often wonder, okay, do they already have these things in the back of their mind about me when I'm trying to get to know them?
mhm,
And I remember when some people had asked me to do interviews and I really liked them and I admired them, I remember hoping just a little bit inside, okay, this is not going to turn sexual. They're actually going to want to get to know me.
mhm,
And so being here in Italy has been nice also because I feel like so many of the relationships and friendships and people and things or things that I do here are organic because a lot of people they don't know that side of me or they're not exposed as much to that side of me, if that
mhm.
makes sense. Like I don't walk around here like Tera Patrick. I think over there I'm a lot more recognizable,
Yep.
whereas over here people don't automatically
Mhm.
click with that. So I feel like when they're getting to know me, it's a lot more. I'm just someone they're like, "Oh, you're American. Tell me about America." "Oh, Trump is a weirdo, isn't?" Like I don't know. The conversations steer more about art or music or things
Mhm.
that I'd like to talk about, whereas back there, it's always, "What do you do?" "Oh, you're in entertainment." And it's like you already know they know,
Yeah.
and you're waiting for that inevitable moment of like, "What are they gonna ask me for?"
Mhm, and then you just kinda go on, like, autopilot with, like because you know what they're gonna ask before they ask. I'm like, "There's so much more to me," right? Like, there's
Yeah.
so much more to me, like, there's obviously like, you have a hell of a story to, like, just kind of, like, pick up with a three-year-old and move to a country where you don't know the language, right? Like, that's a fierce woman, right? Like,
And
I would
that's what I've been able to talk about was and connect with so many other women here, and it's
Mhm,
funny because I met a really lovely woman who I haven't met many Americans here, but funny enough, I met a girl from New Jersey a few weeks ago, and she's here alone with her 8-year-old son, and she's
mm,
Muslim. And we were
okay.
talking about how we're both dealing with racism being here. And so it
Because
was
you're
just,
American?
what's that?
Is it because you're American or, because, like, you're Asian and she's Muslim?
Asian and Muslim,
Wow.
which is so funny, right? Because at
Yeah.
first we were like, huh. So it was just so nice to have this discussion, one with another woman, something
Mhm,
that we could really relate to that's deeply personal without really being personal. It was just, it was like, I think, a sigh of relief for both of us to
mhm,
find it's like two strangers finding comfort in this one issue in this one place. And that's why traveling is, I love traveling so much. And like you said, with feature dancing, I loved getting paid to travel to different places. And I've had some incredible conversations with waitresses, bartenders, doormen, just regular working people about
mhm,
life and about great things that are so relatable, understanding the psychology behind what makes people tick or what makes them do what they do. And there's really so much more to us. And I think that, yeah, like we said earlier, I do believe that people traveling to so many places and countries over the years has taught me that I do believe people are good. I do believe people are mostly, their souls are good. Our souls are good. And I think that I'm just grateful to have had a job that allowed me to travel and experience that because
mhm.
I think it's a gift.
Oh, 100%. I think if anyone is in, like, a place where they're maybe lost or pessimistic or they're seeing the world with, like, a very, like, cynical eye, like, travel's the easiest way to change that very quickly.
Mhm.
Um,
To refresh your perspective a little
yeah,
bit.
and again, to go back to gratitude, right? It's like you I this is mostly, like, a thing happening in the States, though, right now, where it's people really hating the country, um,
Mhm.
and by no means is it perfect, right? And, like, no country is, but if you travel enough, like, you'll see, like, how unique this place is and how
Oh,
beautiful this
yes.
place is,
The
and there's
privileges that we have just from being there or being born there.
100%, right? And every country is gonna have that, but I think there is something, like, very special about the States, and I think traveling will make you fall in love with it again, right? Like, it's not, like, as gorgeous as, like, the Colosseum and all of these, like, really beautiful pieces of, architecture around the world, like, we don't have, like, a lot of that history, but there's a lot something else here, so I
Yes.
think it's very easy to get wrapped up in all of the heavy stuff when you're too close to it, like, you have to, like,
Mhm.
remove yourself. It goes back to, like, the importance of, like, who you surround yourself with and what you surround yourself with, and that's gonna kinda shift and create your reality, so if you can remove yourself from that, especially if you're not content with where you are, you'll start to see the reality that you want manifesting.